Is Big Bad Tima standing on business, or is she too busy distracting herself fighting useless fights? And Karen standing up, walking out, and ultimately moving on, because what don't serve you don't deserve you. What's good, y'all? She got Sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video, and this is the part 2 to my episode 11 from season 7 breakdown. If you missed it, I already did part 1 where I talked about Danni, talked about Sabrina, and I talked about Andi. And in the second part, the final wrap up for my episode 11 coverage, I will be talking about Karen and Fatima in this video. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications, but only if you're mature, only if you're ready to have detailed conversation around a lot of the societal norms that are on display and honestly kind of being rejected within the Sistas universe, or at least by what we see in my commentary on what we see. And you can keep it respectful. Do not hit that subscribe button if you can't do that. Do not hit that subscribe button if you just here to hate watch. Do not hit that subscribe button if all you have to offer to the conversation is I'm Team Fatima, because child, don't nobody care. Don't nobody care, honey. It's so much bigger than teams. At this point, I have come to a realization that I am fighting for the psyche, for the mental wellness, for the space, the safe space for women to evolve out of censoring men, unnecessary catty bickering, and not being better because I don't know any better. Because guess what? Here, we gonna learn to do better by what we see. Now, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and start off with Fatima and what she had going on in this episode. To say I am disappointed in Fatima is the understatement of the year. I think that we have literally just been watching her devolve quickly. This Fatima, and I don't care what y'all think about me, what you think about my commentary, you have to agree if you're any type of sensible human being. This Fatima is not the Fatima that we were introduced to in season 2. This Fatima is a complete and utter deviation from the strong, accomplished, ambitious, loyal, empathetic, grace-filled, stunning Fatima that we got to meet when she first was introduced into the series as a subsidiary character solely as Andi's assistant, right? While we got to see her make some questionable decisions, like Allie will never let me forget how Fatima ushered Gary's ass into that on that laundry basket for $500, which was definitely questionable behavior. But aside from that, for the most part, when she was introduced, she was really introduced as kind of like Tyler Perry's nod to the audience of what perfectionism in a woman looked like. Now, whether we agree or disagree about whether she presented perfect, because Allie would tell us otherwise, and shout out to my good sis Allie Nick, check out her channel at Allie Nick Official. She also breaks down Sistas. If you are new here, we do a podcast each week together after new episodes of Tyler Perry Sistas, where we unpack the episode, we discuss with you all, give our reactions, thoughts, and all of that jazz. While Allie wouldn't agree, I think that is something that Tyler was a goal of Tyler's. Now, I don't know, I haven't talked to him specifically, but that is definitely what it felt like. It definitely felt like when Fatima was introduced, she was supposed to be the ideal when it came to women, and when Aaron was introduced, he was supposed to be the ideal when it came to men. Now, fast forward to season 7, where we are now, and the Fatima that we have is catty, is jealous, is insecure, is sacrificing herself just all willy-nilly just because she's desperate. Like, we did not meet a Fatima that was desperate, and the way that she desperately clings on to this relationship with Zach is beyond me, child. Like, beyond. So I am not just disappointed by the behavior that she has displayed in this episode, which we will get to, but overall just the de-evolution of her as a character over the course of 5 seasons of Sistas and 2 seasons of Fatima. And I would argue that a lot of the de-evolution happened over on Fatima, which is unfortunate because that's a show of y'all's namesake. And if she can't stand on business on her own show about real issues, then why are we watching her stand on business about some bullshit in a show that she's just one of many? Just questions, feel free to answer it in the comment section if you got the answer. Now, early on in the episode, we get to see Fatima studying in a conference room, and Zach comes in to bring her some of her favorite treats from a bakery that she absolutely loves. On the surface, at the 50,000 foot view, this seems like such a wonderful act by a loving, doting partner, a partner that supports you. He's gonna feed you in the middle of the workday with your favorite treats because he know you in here working hard. But that's on the outside. That's on the 50,000 foot view, y'all. When you zoom in and you actually watch this scene go through its entirety, you realize that this is not just a supportive partner. This is not just a sweet moment between two lovers. This is some bullshit. And at this rate, it is just continued Zatima bullshit. And Fatima has been subjected to it for the majority of their relationship, which is very unfortunate for her. Now, how am I identifying this? Y'all, first of all, Zach, where is Michael? Do you have a job? Like, why do you not have nothing to do but run up and down Atlanta and into this law office unannounced, uninvited, all the damn time? Okay, if y'all got the answer, put it in the comment section. But you show up. I have no problem with you bringing her favorite treat. It is this bagel or something, and then this strawberries and cream from this bakery. Like, it's made perfectly how she like it. Cool. My issue comes when she goes to dive into it and he says, so you not gonna give me any? Sir, did you not take your ass into the bakery, order the damn things, see the entire menu, and see what you could get for yourself? And if that was possibly ordering double of what you see me eat because it just looks so damn good when I put it in my mouth, why didn't you order yourself some? The fact that Zach chooses this moment when she's about to dive in and says, you're not gonna give me none, and then she says, okay, you can have the dessert, I'm gonna keep the bagel, and he decides to call her selfish, completely took me out the scene, completely let me know exactly where we're at. It completely continues to affirm how narcissistic and selfish Zach is, because in yet another moment that is supposed to be about celebrating Fatima, that is supposed to be about supporting Fatima, that is supposed to show that she is not the only one making great efforts to make sure that their partner is loved and comfortable and feels supported and is seen, he makes it about him. There has yet to be any moment within this, well, I can't say that because I don't like to say nevers. I don't like to speak in absolutes. There has been one moment, one very slim moment where Zach has made the moment 100% about Fatima, and that is when she shot at Belinda and she needed that big spoon, little spoon, and he got in that bed to cuddle her. But even that could probably be interrogated a little bit if we looked a little bit deeper. Every other moment, this one, the moment when he came into her office a few episodes ago to show her the framed letter that he found, and then decide that he wants to have sex with her in the office full of windows, disrespecting her space after he done ran all up and through where my baby at, screaming and whatnot. Every moment that we do get, which they are few and far between, we're getting more of them in season 7 than we have gotten in quite a bit, because Zach doesn't respect her interests, as we saw in Zatima. He doesn't buy into her likes. He thinks that philosophy and jazz and all that is whack, and all she needs is to get her back cracked by a thug. His words, not mine. And now that we're starting to see this in season 7, every single time is being coupled with him now bringing it back to himself, which ruins the act, which completely taints the act. This wasn't about her. Again, this is a moment about him where he can prove that he's a great boyfriend, or he can prove that he's getting better, or he can prove that I'm Zach and I'm this and I'm that. If you're doing something for Fatima, do something for Fatima. Why are you now asking for what you gave her back and she must give it to you, or else she's going to be deemed selfish, even though she has put her whole entire life into a tailspin to be able to prop up your bullshit and put out every single fire that seems to come into your life? But she's selfish? Yeah, I don't like that. And this is the part that I'm talking about when I'm saying I know I get so much flack about my criticism around Fatima and Zach and them, their coupledom, but also them as individuals. But this is where I'm standing on business, where women need to decenter men, because this is not okay. On the surface, it seems okay, and we have been socialized to believe that this is enough. If he don't stick his penis to somebody, this is enough. But he don't have to take interest in your likes. He doesn't have to show up and support. He doesn't have to show up much of at all, except for coming home at night. That's not enough. Unless, little sis, big sis, whoever you are listening, if you decide that less than is enough for you, then that's cool. But I'm not speaking to those women. I'm speaking to the women who are watching media and are not going to just say, it's just a TV show. The amount of times I get this every day, like, I wish y'all stopped telling me this, because I know that I'm a very intelligent woman, regardless of what you think. But the women, the men, the gays, the theys, whomever who's listening, who wonders about how our society is set up, wonders about how they fit in it, are constantly auditing themselves, their identity, how they take up space, the things that they do, and are looking to live a virtuous and like a good life. This is for y'all, because society has lied to us. Specifically, Black women has lied to us and told us that getting a man who barely don't cheat, but if he cheats, still take him back. He ain't gotta, pay the bills. He ain't gotta do this. He ain't gotta do that. They lied to us, honey. So many people are idolizing the Zatima relationship, and it makes sense, because this is what we have been socialized to accept. This is what we have been socialized to believe is what we should aspire to. But this isn't even the bottom of the barrel. This is nowhere near enough. This is not even the basic. Fatima is not equally yoked in this relationship. She is not equally considered. She is not seen. Zach is not on Fatima's level. And I go back and forth with even that thought because Fatima at this point ain't on the level of the Fatima that I first met in season 2. But again, that's a whole other conversation for a whole nother day. This whole scene just reminded me of that. And most of that was criticism specifically for Zach. But now I'm gonna get on to Fatima because her comments about her and Karen with makeup after SWV and I think Escape go on tour, that's not funny because we already seen y'all do it. At this point, it's the writers now retroactively addressing growth that happened on both characters' behalf and removing it just because it's a little bit better for the drama that they want this season. And I don't like that. It's whack. The Fatima that heard Karen out, accepted her apology, took the stuff for Michael, invited her in, and then understood on her face when she said, you know what, I'm not ready for that. That's the Fatima that we should be getting. But we're getting a petty Fatima that is now befriending Daniella, who is not a good friend, period. Regardless of her not being a good friend to Karen, Danny don't bring to a friendship, y'all. And meanwhile, y'all want them to team up like the Bat Twins or whatever the hell. Meanwhile, that's just going to be another person for Fatima to carry. Another person for her to endear herself to and then lay her ass across the damn train tracks and sacrifice herself for, because it seems like everybody that comes into her orbit becomes people that she now has to save for whatever reason. Yet Fatima don't deserve saving. Yet Fatima won't get a storyline of her own. This is a comment for the writers, not for the character. And it's not worthy of that, I'm assuming. Because what's going on? Why are we not further exploring what it looks like for a woman committed to a man who now has 2 kids in a matter of 6 months? Within 6 months of meeting them, they now have 2 kids. One here, one already on the way. One now that you are legally tied to and have custody of. Why aren't we exploring the shame that comes from stopping law school now that she's going back to law school? Why aren't we accurately addressing how hard it's going to be? Why are we watching her sit in a conference room and then tell Zach not to make too much noise or not to draw too much attention? Meanwhile, you sit in a conference room with all windows trying to hide that you're studying. Don't you have an office? It don't add up. There's not enough effort being put into Fatima as a character and her actual storyline aside from anybody else. And I can't help but think that the only reason why this is the case is because they believe us to not be interested in that. They believe us not to buy into the internal turmoil that comes from a woman in a circumstance like this. She has to be dialed into this beef. She has to keep this thing going with Karen for it to actually be interesting. She has to always be threatening to harm somebody's life, take somebody's life, and never do it. She happens to be big bad Tima with the duffel bag. She has to talk big and bad and always talk about her cousin to be interesting. And I'm sorry, that's just not the case for me. To me, Fatima was way more interesting without all of this. I think that the tension between her and Karen is natural and real, but the progression that they have shown, the storyline that they have shown is not natural in reference to the things that have already been laid out. We have retroactively gone backwards. Her making this comment about her and Karen never actually becoming friends is bull. It's bull. Even after you done walked up into her house. Needless to say, this whole scene got on my damn nerve. It did not do what I think that they thought it was going to do. Of course, Fatima looks stunning because she always looks stunning. Of course, Zach and Fatima as a couple look great. Their little light skin love gives aesthetically. But when you open up that damn hood, that engine is jacked up. That transmission is going up. Moving on, Fatima, we get to see her also, when Miss Marie pops up, but it's not really, consequential to her storyline or the storylines that she's involved in. Of course, she has some animosity for Hayden when Hayden pops up to rub it in Andy's fucking face. Again, this just is for me, Fatima, I'm tired. I'm so tired. Yes, we saw you, have Hayden beat up by, Madam got people to beat him up, string him up on his car. Cool. But if you ain't gonna punch him in his face right here, stop jumping in his face, please. If you ain't gonna cut his throat right here, stop jumping in his face because it's giving fraudulent. Once we get to the damn juice bar, because Fatima takes Danny up on the offer, even though Danny halfway lies talking about maybe Karen will be there, I don't know, whatever. Daggone well this girl's gonna be there. Daggone well you're not seeing eye to eye. Daggone well that this is her group of girlfriends, and I really don't give a damn how much y'all believe that Danny could be friends with whoever she wants to be friends with, because that is not even the point that I'm making, and y'all are to make points that I didn't even make or argue against points that I didn't even make. My issue is, Fatima, what is it that you want? Because even within the confines of this run-in at the juice bar, you seem more aligned with Daniella than you do with Sabrina, than you do with Andi. And Andi's supposed to be the one that's actually your friend, that you actually have something built on. Is that your friend? Yeah, that, all of that. But Daniella is the one that you aligned with so so much so that when she decides to pull out the flask for the mocktails so that she could spike it because she's an alcoholic, you need some of that as well. If you needed to drink at a mocktails event for some girls that are barely your damn friends to be able to stomach and sit in a situation with your fiance's ex who is currently pregnant by him, then maybe your ass shouldn't be there. Ever think about that? If we gotta numb, if we gotta take illicit substances to cope, maybe we shouldn't be doing it. Maybe we shouldn't have our asses there. And then on top of that, maybe we also shouldn't be mumbling under our breath that we don't even know if he the father, creating antagonistic comments about this girl after you already put her through having to go through an unnecessary procedure, all because you're insecure about if Zach is the father or not. But you want to make sure that you drill home under your breath, of course, because you're supposed to be big bad Tima, but you whispering. Meanwhile, Karen sat down and said everything with her goddamn chest. But I'm gonna get to Miss Karen in a second. We create animosity, we create additional tension because we want to make a little goofy ass comment under our breath, which to me means that it was actually meant for Daniella. Like the other girls can hear, but it was meant for Daniella. You didn't mind if Karen heard it, but you also wasn't big and bad enough to say it with your damn chest. But then you big and bad enough to say that you sparing her because she pregnant, but you about to fight pain. Like none of this actually makes sense. And I am like so befuddled looking at some of the Fatima fans that come into my comment section, standing 10 toes down as if this girl is not wrong. If she not wrong for murmuring under her breath this goofiness about Karen in front of her damn friends at her friend's event, then is she not wrong for saying that she will wax Pam's ass? For what? What did Pam do to you? Not a damn thing. Pam barely said 3 words and you talking about you gonna fight her? You look goofy, Fatima. You look goofy as hell. It is nothing but bird behavior, and we're getting increased bird behavior from her as more and more episodes go along. And again, I'm gonna double back to my point at the very beginning of this video. This is not the Fatima that we was introduced to. This is whack. Now I'm gonna finish my Fatima coverage with this statement. If Fatima is so perturbed, insecure, jealous, whatever she would articulate it as about Karen specifically and her carrying Zach's baby, then why continue to put yourself in circumstances where you will physically be occupying the same space as this one? This ties to what I was saying at the beginning in the intro. Fatima is fighting unnecessary goofy ass battles like this one with Karen. That one you can't win because there's nothing to actually be won here. She's still pregnant. What are you going to do? Push her down some steps? Like, let's be fucking for real. The battle that you need to be fighting is the one at home in your relationship, where you are not heard, where you're not seen, where you're not considered, where your partner is not actually equally yoked enough with you to meet you with a certain level of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and effective communication that you need. What you need to be doing is hosting Schoolhouse Rock at that damn duplex to get Zach up to speed to be the man that you deserve. Not running around juice bars trying to mollywop women because that's the answer to all of your Zach problems. Moving on. Karen, my good sis, Karen. This episode, she really just made me proud. And it was very interesting to arrive at the very end of the episode and be so proud of her, but then also be side-eyeing at the beginning, because while I understand that her and Pam have a certain banter, I don't have a problem with how she speaks to Pam for the most part, because Pam be dropping the ball, Pam be aloof, Pam be taking advantage of the personal relationship and be very unprofessional at times. But now that Pam is morphing into a business owner in her own right, her launch of Roots to Riches has really grounded her, is really maturing her, is really pushing her to take things a little bit more seriously. I am really, really loving the Pam character more and more, and I have already really enjoyed her, right? Watching Karen, snap at Pam, which she typically would do because Pam don't be taken seriously, but then apologize. I was wondering, like, did the writers mean this to be sarcastic, or does she really mean it? But it's very clear as the episode persists, that Karen actually did mean it. The apology was genuine. It wasn't an apology to be manipulative. And while it might have been brought on because she has a moment to think of, like, yo, Pam be here for me. Like, Pam is solid. Like, I don't have to question Pam after she just has this very contentious exchange with Daniella. And again, I talked about that with in the part 1 of this episode breakdown, so I'll link it in the cards above as well as the description box down below if you missed it. I'm not gonna rehash it here, but I think that the juxtaposition of her having this contentious moment and getting off the phone with Daniella and then turning to Pam, and then Pam having a softness that she always carries with Karen, but she has been even more prominent with her while she's with child, and then Karen taking a second to catch herself and be like, well, wait a minute, no, I'm sorry, and to really approach appreciate Pam in this moment and do that, I think that it was really beautiful to see. And then we get this further affirmed when we have this moment where Pam is asking for an extra 30 minutes on her lunch break. And while, Karen DeFoster like, girl, what you need it for? And she's like, I don't need to go get them. I don't need to go do that. Like, I'm going to actually do some responsible stuff. And so much so that Pam, because she's going to, but Pam is going to go open up a bank account for her business. And Karen is so surprised but happy and glad that she's taking her advice of like getting everything straight and doing everything right, that she like, girl, take as much time as you need. And they have a moment where Pam tells Karen how she is her mentor, how she looks up to her. And it's such an endearing and a sweet moment because you can see that it lands on Karen as a character as something that she has desperately wanted from the people around her that she loves, but she doesn't get very often. And I think that she has a similar disposition to the girls in the sister circle as she does to Pam. Sometimes it's giving them tough love, it's giving them honesty. Y'all love to act like she ain't never been soft, where I'm literally about to pull out all the receipts where she been handling Andrea with kid gloves behind this Gary bush trying to protect her feelings. She was very kind, very tender. But anyway, this moment is just so beautiful to see because you can see Karen taking in and actually receiving. Because that's one thing. It's one thing to hear somebody say great things about you or hear somebody affirm you. But it's a whole other thing for you to actually receive it and let it land on you. Let it wash over you. Let it do something to you, right? Let it positively affect you. And we get to see that in this moment. And we subtly are watching them grow closer together. But more so, them grow closer in a way of Karen really allowing herself to really trust Pam. Like there's a certain level of trust there, but she was also kind of like handling Pam the best as she knew how in reference to Pam sometimes being flaky and Pam, being unserious most of the time. But now she's, accepting this newer Pam that's evolving right before her eyes. And again, this scene just, to me, in addition to how endearing it was, it just showed so much in reference to the growth and foreshadowing for both characters. Now, Karen winds up bringing Pam to the juice bar, and some people had a problem with that. I'm seeing all types of commentary about that, but y'all didn't have a problem with Daniella inviting Fatima. And Pam has known all them girls longer. Okay. Pam has just now ran into Sabrina and, got her bank account open and whatnot. And she knew she could go to Sabrina because what? Pam has already known her. Oh, okay. And Pam did what she needed to do, have Karen's back. I don't have no problem with Karen bringing additional reinforcements to a circumstance where she's supposed to be meeting up with her homegirls, but she know her homegirls on some fugazi stuff. And it's very clear that it was on some fugazi stuff because Fatima was able to say her little goofy ass comment under her breath and they let it ride. Not one soul said anything about it. Now, the major contention happens between Karen and Danni, so much so where Karen has to say, Danni, I don't even know why I'm your friend. I'm gonna go ahead and leave, and winds up leaving. But I'm so proud of Karen for this moment because I think this is a thing that we don't get taught or we don't actually talk about, and it is friendship breakups. And it is the grief that comes with it. It's the guilt that comes with it. It is very hard, I think. In a lot of ways, I feel like it's harder to break up with friends than it is for you to break up with a romantic partner. And the grief can be even worse. So I was so proud of Karen to see her stand on business when it comes to herself, to say what she said. And yes, she said the comment of like, you already have my man, so what's with another loose end? So many people were taking this so literally, which I hate this for Karen. Like, Karen is a character that gets the least amount of grace, the least amount of understanding. Nobody wants to actually look deeper. Nobody wants to deal with what's implied. The writers use it as a tool to do all of Karen's character development. All of the meat and potatoes in her storyline comes in the things that are implied, but y'all only listen to what is explicitly said. So she said her man, so that means that she wants Zach back. Karen does not want Zach back. We have watched her engage with him in this season specifically. And she is not in a place of, oh, Zach is actually my man. Oh, I want Zach back. Even while Zach is excited about the damn babies and rubbing all up on her, she's looking at him like, sir, even though they had a moment before they do the test and he's like happy about the babies and the big head jokes or whatever, even that was not a sexual, romantic anything. It's just the adoration and excitement about having these babies. Y'all gotta be for real and stop acting or being so willfully obtuse. Her saying you already have my man is her also speaking. While she's speaking in the present, it's not actually her saying, oh, he is my man now. It's like a figure of speech. And it's wild to me to see how many black women are saying this. Cause I'm like, I know you hoes have said this before. I know I've said it before. Let's be for real. In the moment that's not your man, but that's how you characterize it. Because part of this is also this thing. She got to say whatever she want to say under her breath. I'm gonna say everything I want to say with my full chest. And best believe when people go low, I be ready to go to hell. So some of the things that get said, they just get said. Now, to clear that up, I don't think that she was alluding to, oh, Zach is my man now. I don't think that. I think that she's like, listen here, you done already moved in on him, so go ahead and take them. It's giving you what my life, go ahead and have it, girl, because I'm moving into a whole nother stage in my life anyway. Is she right? Is she wrong? I can't say. I'm not gonna call her wrong for anything that she said. This is how she felt and she expressed it. I'm proud of her for doing so. I don't think that everything can be as black and white as people want it to be. I love the what's some other, loose ends, because if you want my friends so bad, then go ahead and have them. And this is important, not because Karen is offering an arbitrary ultimatum. It's because they're clearly not her friends anymore. Y'all are clearly not going to create a safe space. She is pregnant. Y'all both know, everybody at the table knows she's pregnant with twins. You know that this has already been a stressful ass pregnancy. And not a one person at this table, except for Pam, is doing anything to make this pregnancy any more comfortable than it already is, which is already not that damn comfortable. People are conspiring to support and lift Fatima up, but where's the support for her damn friend? It only comes in private. Y'all want to rub all up on her belly and call each other aunties when y'all in the apartment, but where's the auntyism when Fatima is sliding over this goofy ass joke about how Zach ain't the damn daddy, or we don't even know because she basically a hoe, and nobody bats an eye because it couldn't be me. Couldn't have been Erica sitting there. I'm sorry, what was said? Why did you feel the need to say that? If you wanted to start something, then we can start something. And that's the energy that Fatima has, so that's the energy that she need to be met with. Because Daniella is harboring whatever little issues that she have that we don't know about. I cannot wait till these damn writers get to the point already and tell us what is Daniella's issue with Karen. But because she's harboring some past issue with Karen, and it has to be that, she is now giving carte blanche right to Fatima to disrespect Karen however the hell she feels, and ultimately sacrificing everybody's relationship or bond with Karen in the process. I absolutely love that Karen read her for filth, gathered her, didn't miss Fatima, because Fatima, again, while you muttering things under your breath, Karen saying them with her full chest. And you know what? I don't have to be here. You want my friends? Take these hoes. I'll find some other better. Let's go, Pam. Andi. Now, I do want to make a note about what Daniella said when Karen left, about how she can't with the person who only wants to see the evil in her. That's cute. I don't know where you read that, but that's cute, because this is not about her making it out to only point out everything bad about you. You only show people bad, honey. Within your relationship right now, with the man that you do not deserve, you are showing the bad. Within your friendships right now, you are showing the bad. Within your damn therapy sessions right now, you're not even taking it seriously. You're showing the bad. Nobody is picking, choosing, and cherry picking experiences with Daniella. You are literally giving people terrible ass experiences with you. And when they turn around and speak on them, now they the problem. No, you are the problem. You've been a problem for your own life. You've been a problem for the people around you's lives. And at some point, I cannot wait for you to realize it. Until then, I'm on your ass and under your bed in your nightmares, Daniella, because you're a trash person. And I think that's pretty much it, y'all. I didn't expect for this video to go this long. But that sums it up. Those are my thoughts for episode 11. I will be coming with my trailer breakdown for the second half of season 7, my preview for episode 12. I already did an episode 12 and episode 13 synopsis breakdown, so you can check all of that out on the channel as well. If you haven't already and you want to keep up with Sistas and my thoughts on Sistas, then hit the subscribe button. Give this video a like, because I know that you liked it. You made it all the way to the end. Drop down into the comments and share with me your thoughts, your theories, your predictions. Again, if you don't like me, please keep it respectful, because we don't gotta agree, but your ass gotta find some respect before you get to talking to me. Okay? See y'all the next one.